Hello, writers. Glad you're here. Today, we're going to be learning more ways to help your writing get better. Now, lesson 2 is calling on all strategies to write up a storm. Now, some of you, but not all, have already learned that professional writers know how to take a small moment in their lives and write these not just as the day I won the game stories. Those are boring. But instead, they write about small moments or snapshots in their life that make in ways that make these stories really important. Have you ever had a teacher, sometime in elementary school, who tried to teach you about crafting powerful, true stories from the small moments in your life? If you have, raise your hand. Okay. So I can see that some of you have had that experience, which is going to be great for us in the classroom. This is going to be a big year for you. Being a sixth grade full-fledged author is serious business. I'm not worried though, because I can see that there's expertise in this room. There are people in this room with experience in writing small moments in their lives. And I can already sense that you will be the kind of cool kiddos that will be game with helping others in this room who haven't tried this kind of writing yet. It's important for you to know that in sixth grade, expectations skyrocket. It's going to be expected that each of you as writers can fill a page and a half or so in your writing notebook every day with a compelling true story. That's ambitious, and you're going to need help, but you're going to have help with people in the class. Now, today we're going to begin by studying a mentor text, noticing and naming strategies and techniques the writer uses. Then we'll draft a new notebook entry about a small moment you remember from your life, and you'll incorporate the strategies and techniques that you noticed in the mentor text. You'll study the mentor text and write for about 30 minutes. Now, this excerpt of a personal narrative is written by a sixth grade girl named I. First, I want to read the piece and ask myself, what worked? Then we'll look deeply to find things we can use in our own writing. So as I'm reading this excerpt, I want you to think about the things that you think the author does well, and see if there's something in your own life that you could connect to, maybe a small moment that this reminds you of. And you can also reflect on maybe some of the topics you came up with yesterday that you think might make good memoir writing or personal narrative. Now, I shivered a little bit. It's pretty cold, I said as I dipped my toes in the water. I took a pebble and threw it far into the creek. Well, whatever, I said as I plunged into the cold water. It felt amazing. The cold water covered my eyes like gentle blankets, and the water washed over me like a breeze. Swimming is my favorite. Wait up, yelled Emma as she ran down the hill with her floaty wrapped around her waist. Her curly brown hair whipped around in the breeze. I shivered. I was cold already. A moment after that, India's mom waded in, laughing. Ha! It's cold, she said. Then she stopped. Girls, out of the water. She pushed us back to shore. I looked back and saw a long, thin water snake slithering toward us. I gasped. I quickly swam underwater in big, wide strokes. I never saw any water snakes around Asoku Creek. I thought, to be continued. Now, writers remember that to learn from finished writing, you first read it, which we've done. Then you think, what part worked for me in that piece? After that, we can think, how did the author do that? Now, we're going to reread the passage and annotate to find things the writer did well. Exact words, tiny actions. She zoomed into the moment with lots of details. A small snapshot, not the whole story, and very descriptive. So let's look at this. I shivered a little bit. It's pretty cold. I love the way she used great word choices. So instead of just saying it was cold, she showed that she was cold. I shivered a little bit. Now, I said as I dipped my toes in the water, I took a pebble and threw it far into the creek. That's just a tiny action. She dipped her toes in the water. I like that. Now, well, whatever, I said as I plunged into the cold water. It felt amazing. I can almost feel myself in that water. The cold water covered my eyes like gentle blankets. Great simile that she used there. Now, I better think about what she actually did in this piece so I can picture it. So I can picture the gentle blanket. I can feel the cold. She's got that imagery going so you can actually see what's going on and feel what's going on. And then the excitement when the mom yells, "Girls, out of the water." And she gasped. That let me know this was an exciting moment. And I enjoyed that. I like the way the author used that. That really worked. Now, I want you to turn and talk with your partner about observations and share things. If you find exact words that were good, a lot of details when she zoomed into a moment, any tiny actions that were important, turn and talk with your partner about things that you notice in the piece. And we're going to pause right here for a couple of minutes while you do that. All right, so I know you have noticed some things about I's writing that you thought she did well. Let's move on. Now, you've been doing some great work thinking about what I wrote and how those things that worked in her piece might help you in your writing. And let's remember that you should focus on one episode and write with details. Don't summarize a stretch of time. You don't want to write about your whole summer vacation. You just want to find one snapshot moment. And it could be something that has happened in your life recently with COVID-19. That might make a really special piece for this year. Now, help readers picture the episode, a small action with exact detail. So that's you're going to have 12 minutes exactly until writing time is over today. Use that time to get started right now writing your own first personal narrative, your own true story, and write this in your writing notebook. Now, writers, what's one thing you can imagine working even harder at? Here are two of my goals. They are both things that I'm already doing well, but I want to turn my strengths into a superpower. So you're going to be thinking about things that you can do to make your writing even better. Think about things that you already do well and how you can make them better. So, one thing that I'd like, here are my writing goals: to use details that totally transport my readers into my story so they feel like they have traveled back in time to the neighborhood where I grew up. And I want to write stronger and longer entries of about a page and a half or 3 pages in a sitting, pausing to adjust without pausing to adjust every sentence. I just want to keep writing and keep the flow going. Now, you're going to take a minute to begin your own list of the ways you can imagine working hard. Remember to start with something that you feel strong in, and then picture yourself learning from one of the writers you admire. What is one thing you would do to make your writing even better? So you're going to find the My Writing Goals doc in Classroom and begin to do that. Now, during your next independent study time, you'll need to finish declaring your own writing goals and continue to study I's personal narrative and notice that writing moves that inspire you and make you want to work hard as a writer this year. Continue the draft that you began in your writing notebook doc, and I'll expect that you'll write about a page and a page and a half in total, and then you'll have a chance to share. Writers, I'm very proud of the work that you're doing now, and I know this year is going to be super special. And crafting this personal narrative this year will make a writing piece that you're going to treasure for the rest of your life. Enjoy and have fun writing. Bye.